Perfect Blue is a 1997 psychological animated horror thriller film directed by Satoshi Kon. And here we go. Welcome back to my anime reviews. The film follows this former singer Mima Kiwigo, who is a member of a Japanese idol group who is now retired. She is now gone from music to pursue an acting career, and soon she becomes a victim of stalking, cyber stalking. And from then on comes all this killing. There is a lot of murder that is involved and occurs, and it pretty much leaves her in a very, very psychologically messed up state of mind. And from then, there we go. I've been meaning to make a review about this for quite some time. I watched it a couple of years ago and I was left stunned. I was confused, I was jaw-dropped, I was thinking I have to talk about this. I was reminded once again that I need to talk about it, and so here we go. This is a dark, sophisticated psychological thriller. Psychological thrillers are my favorite. It's my favorite genre of them all. I love that a film can challenge you in the way that this film does, especially, and it can make you think. And the films that leave you daydreaming as to what the hell you just watched, those are the films that can affect me the most, and I love that so much. This is a film that has that effect of over-obsession fueled throughout, internet culture. It is so ahead of its time. It's unbelievable that Japanese culture, Japanese film culture can do that, because films like this, where you talk about internet stalking and stalking in general, that's huge. This year and this time right now, for decades, it has been going on and it has been getting worse. And it's just crazy to think about how it's still relevant to this day. It's really messed up. And now we have social media. You can imagine so much stalking is happening right now, and it's just a reminder of how celebrity fandom is still talked about and still relevant, and how it's evolved through the decade. This is a deeply violent film, both physically and emotionally. It's gonna leave you wounded, metaphorically. No, not wounded. It's gonna be scarred. Yep, it's scarred. That's the right word. It has a huge legacy on its shoulders as well. If you're a fan of the singer Madonna and you have heard the song, It Feels What It Feels Like for a Girl, then you're probably going to be noticing that they actually use a few samples and clips from the film in one of her songs. In it, the song is pretty much about society's double standard for women and how they're treated and how they can be mythically treated, and the whole obsession scenario, which is heavily as theme in this film. If you have seen the film Black Swan, which is directed by Darren Aronofsky, who is a great director in psychological thrillers, he acknowledges how there are some similarities in his film and this film, which is heavily talked about and still talked about to this day. But also Paprika, that was also directed by Satoshi Kon, also the same director, it's got some very striking similarities to Inception. Much of Kon's work, such as Paprika, has some blurring lines between reality and fantasy. It's strange, it's stylish, it's clever, it's artistic. It is a technical great achievement. If you love those mind-bending psychological thrillers that really make you think and leave you baffled in the end, like I just mentioned before, you're going to love this film. If you love films that deliberately confuse you, put this down on your list, because it's very engaging and very highly fascinating. It uses a lot of surrealism to create a weird, confusing time for the audience and the audience's mind as well, with twists and turns, and only then that we will actually understand or realize what's happening in this plot. Japanese culture is incredible. They are known for creating very risky films in the past, and very much a lot of series as well. A lot of anime is created like that as well. If you deliver and pitch all these ideas to America, they're going to be like, nope, that's too inappropriate. We can't have that, of course. But Japan film industry is incredible at that, and they need to keep this alive. You see films like this, Akira, Paprika. They are incredibly and highly influential to this day. But also series like Terror in Resonance, Psychopaths, Another, and of course my favorite of all time, Erased, have that example as well, and I hope this continues. But the film overall is visually stunning, the cinematography is excellent, and if you really do love films that are cerebral and clever and very socio-political, this film may speak to you, and I think it probably will. if you really do love that sort of type. Every frame is art. You have to realize they draw every little frame, and it requires many viewings as well. This is one of those films that you have to watch more than once to really understand and pick out all these clues that this amazing people leave behind. The only flaw I can imagine, the only flaw that I've had for this film is pacing. Between the middle and the final act, there is a huge, complete drastic change in that's obviously not consistent. That's the only problem that I had. But of course, this film overall is fantastic. It is jaw-dropping and just extremely interesting. And I'm going to give Perfect Blue an A. Guys, of course, thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon with some more content coming out your way.